What's going on, everyone? Ollelito back here with a brand new video on the channel. Today, guys, we have a very exciting one. I think a lot of you guys has been wanting to know what tactics Anders Vejrgang used to win the World Championship this past weekend. And in today's video, I will be showing you what tactics he played with, what instructions he has on all his players, and basically his tactics, his instructions, and also which team he used. So let's just jump into today's video. So, starting off with how Anders' team looked like when he was playing the World Championship, it was basically this team. I'm not sure if they had the chance to play with 99 Van Dijk. I think they did, but maybe not the 98 Bellingham, but I'm not sure, or the 98 Mbappé, but you get what I mean. This was his team that was using. He was using Schmeichel in goal, one of the best keepers on the game, obviously, really good. He was using Ollelito as the right back, basically because he has aerial plus, and he's able to, you know, compete with the headers against Vejrgang or Haaland. Then in the middle defense, he was using Van Dijk and Konate. I mean, two great center backs. I think in terms of center backs now, in this year or this period of the game cycle, it's very hard to, you know, pick the right two options because there are so many different options and it's just personal preference in the end of the day. But he was using Van Dijk and Konate. For left back, he was using none other than John Stones, who was starting as a right back then, so he manages to get this team on full chem. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he probably played something like a 4-2-4, if I'm not sure. Basically because he want to fit everyone into chem. In general, it's one of the best formations in general to just put at the start of the game, and then when you're going into the game you switch positions, because I always saw that his Stones needed to like switch side because he played Stones on the left and Ollelito on the right. So yeah, he was, I think, starting with a 4-2-4, probably something like this, and then Haaland as a left wing. He can't play left wing, at least he started something like this, and this was how he lined it up. Then for CMs, he was using Bellingham and Gullit. I mean, great partnership there in midfield, playing the 4-3-2-1 formation, of course, in game. Then he was using Saka as the right center midfielder, who was actually his attacking option. I usually play my left center mid on as the attacking option, but he was playing Saka on the right CM. Then for the right forward, he was using Kylian Mbappé, striker R9, and then left forward, none other than Erling Braut Haaland. Basically, I think he's using Haaland over Vejrgang because he gets that left-footed player on the left end, so he can shoot a cross goal when he gets into the box. Now we jump into the tactics. So, jumping into Anders Vejrgang tactics. Why do I know these tactics? I will explain to you guys. So, Anders in width is using around 45 to 50. I've also done an analyzing video where I analyzed Anders Vejrgang's final against Yuval Bailey. So I also seen kind of, you know, the whole game. That's coming out on Thursday. I analyzed that game. It's coming out Thursday at 7 o'clock. But how do I know these tactics? Basically, because Leipzig, Red Bull Leipzig esports account, posted his tactics on their reel. So I tried to, you know, go into more depth because they didn't really do that too much. But in width, he was using 45 to 50. In general, I think this is pretty accurate. You know, I don't think Anders really wants to show his tactics to the public yet either, because he still has one tournament left in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, in like a month, and he still got crowned world champion. Of course, everyone wants to know his tactics, but as I said, I have some small contacts that I can, you know, reach out to if I really want stuff to happen. So this happened basically. So I'm going to show this kind of screenshot up here, and it was basically me asking Red Bull Leipzig if it was fine to make a video around Anders' tactics, and I've seen on that video that they posted that this was not Anders' real tactics, and that could be because it said there that Anders was using 57 depth, which I can tell it's not true that he was using it against Yuval Bailey. At least he might have used it in some other games, but it said 57 on that reel. And why is this not true? Because basically Anders got the auto side traps, and then I already explained to you guys, if you have above 70 depth, that's when you get auto side traps. So as you see in the message once again coming up here from Red Bull Leipzig, they said he was also using 100 depth in some games, and I guess to use it in most of the games, as I still see these auto side traps being used by him. So his tactics against, at least against Yuval Bailey in a lot of other games, was actually 100 depth in the 4-3-2-1 formation. And then if we jump into build up, play, chance creation, balanced direct passing, pretty obvious. I mean, every pro player is using this in 4-3-2-1. In width, he was using around 45. So 45 width, we're going to slap in there. He said 50 on the reel, but I think around 45 to 50 wouldn't matter too much. If you do place in box, that was 5, and I think this is pretty accurate, as Anders just wants to have his strikers inside the box, which makes sense because, I mean, you don't really want to have your center mids in there. As long as you just have your strikers in there, that's better. Of course, if you need to go ultra attacking, whatever, you might, you know, get this much higher up, but he didn't. On corners, as we saw Anders score a lot of corners actually, if you're watching this past weekend when he got crowned champion, he was using 3, and then on free kicks he was using 2. Free kicks doesn't really matter, but for corners, as I said, using a lot of different corner techniques, and he was scoring a lot of them. So 3 for corners. Then formation, this was basically what he was using, 4-3-2-1 with Ollelito, right back, Stones, left back. I didn't have all these special cards, but I just put them in their place. And then instead of Pedri, he was using R9, of course, and not R9, Hullet, my bad. So this was his team. If we go into instructions then pretty quick, he was using John Stones on stay back while attacking and overlap, and then Joselu on balanced attack and overlap. He was just basically using these two because both of them, I guess, or I'm 99% sure that both of them has aerial plus. Stones in this case was going to be the stay back one, and you basically want to have these two because they can compete with the headers if someone is crossing. Yeah, that was basically why he was using them. Joselu is of course a striker, so he wanted the striker to be more of, you know, going forward fullback. So in this case, he was using a balanced attack and overlap on Joselu. Then for the center back, didn't use anything. For Saka, he was using balanced attack and cover wing. And I mean, Saka was the best player I've seen on this game when Anders was controlling him. It was insane. On Saka, he had balanced attack and cover wing. For the central center midfielder and for the left center midfield, he was using stay back while attacking and cover center. And as I said before, instead of Pedri, this was going to be Hullet. So Hullet and Bellingham, both on stay back while attacking and cover center. On Erling Haaland, he was using nothing else than come back on defense, balance with mixed attack, R9, no instruction at all, and Kylian Mbappe, no instruction at all. As I said, I've been analyzing the game, and it wouldn't surprise me if Anders has Kylian Mbappe on stay central as well, because he was really good at breaking these lines in between Joel Bailey's center midfield, and that means that Kylian Mbappe is on stay central. But as I said, we've seen the reel now, and this is how his team is looking, and I think that this could be Anders' tactics. I'm 99% sure it can be, and why? Basically because he's so good at triggering these manual runs by pressing down L1 on your controller and just making a run in behind. He is so incredibly skilled at that, just to having players running all the time, causing chaos for the opponent when they are trying to defend him, basically. And then when he gets into the space, he's one of the best players in the world as well. So this is Anders Vejrgang's tactics. He was using, as I said, 100 depth, but as you saw in the message from Leipzig as well, he was using 57 in some of them. But I wanted to add because I think 100 depth is more accurate than 57, if I'm being honest. So this was Anders Vejrgang tactics in the 4-3-2-1, and this is how he became world champion. Don't forget to like this video, comment something nice down below, and don't forget to subscribe. As I said, 90% of you guys are not subscribing, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. But as always, stay safe, stay humble, and I'll see you guys in the next video. You guys are the greatest. Bye-bye. I can't change shoot assistance. I have on assisted, and time finishing is on. Time finishing should always be on. If you watched my last video, you saw these 5 secret pro tips that pros don't want you to use. Timing is one of the keys that you need to use, and don't have this on off. I mean, learn how to time a shot and you will become so much better in front of goal. So time finishing should be on. That's a very important one. Through pass assistant, semi, lob through pass, semi, ground pass assistant, and cross assistant. I have on assisted. I usually don't really touch these too much. Pass receiver lock I have on late. Precision pass sensitivity I have on normal. Defending I have on auto clearance, I can't switch. Clearance assistant I have the directional, which means the power remains fully assisted and the earliest possible contact point will be selected. Jockey I have manual. Defending you can choose between tactical or advanced. For me, at the start of the game I did tactical, and then I switched later to actually advanced. But for me, the only difference between these two is the tactical defending is how you used to defend in the past years. Like, it's exactly the same. But if you go to advanced, the only thing that's a bit different is